So the first perspective is that everybody is you pushed out. From a spiritual perspective, yes, this is your physical body. This is one perspective that you have about life. But also everybody else is just a mirror, mirroring to you things that you like about yourself, but also mirroring to you things you don't like about yourself so that they trigger you. Therefore, you can question the trigger and do the healing. Now, when I meet somebody, I've never seen them before. I haven't said anything to them. I haven't done anything to them. And for whatever reason, they decide to be weird and not act like they don't like me. It's not my baggage, it's theirs. I told myself, this is your baggage. It's there. It's their stuff that's coming up to the surface. It's not my business, not my burden. The same way, when you meet somebody and you see someone out in the wild and for whatever reason there's just something that you don't like about them, it's good for you to question, why is this person making you so uncomfortable and trigger you? Then it's your stuff. It's good for you to go deep down and look at it. Now, the same also applies for when you say, let's say you admire a famous person. We tend to project our qualities onto the famous people that we know. Let me explain. How many times have you admired an artist or a singer or an actor and you think the world about them and you say, oh my God, they're so talented and amazing. And later on something comes out about them and you're in shock and you could have never imagined them being able to do something like that. That's because we project our values onto the people we admire. So we project our qualities that are known to us on a daily basis. Whether if we're kind, if we're caring, we project all those qualities onto them, plus the fact that they're famous and thriving and are very talented. But the truth is, behind closed doors, they can have a character that would make you never want to associate with them in the real life. But off you go, projecting your characteristics onto the person, personality traits that you really like about yourself. And because you like that person, you admire them, you project it onto them and you think they can do no wrong, they are perfect. The truth is, nobody is perfect and you don't really know this person. In your mind, you build them to be the perfect human being because they have your internal intangible qualities plus the visible tangible qualities on screen. The same way is true when you decide to hate on somebody when you don't even know them personally. So, taking that scenario and that knowledge, you will understand that nobody truly knows you. Nobody on this planet knows you because everybody's roaming around with a different perspective. Even your own parents, even people who have seen you grow, your best friends, everybody is roaming around with a different character, different version of you in their mind. You're just manifesting as whatever it is based on their own baggage, their own dreams, their own excitement, their own fears, their own insecurities. Think of it like the boggart in Harry Potter. The boggart manifests as people's deepest fear, but it doesn't actually have a shape. It just manifests as what's within people. You are like a boggart to people, but instead of just projecting people's fear onto you, people also project things that they like. People project their dreams onto you, but in reality, you do not have an actual shape. The only shape you have is the hologram of you that exists in their reality, but it's just a hologram. But how they qualify you as has everything to do with them. Then it has to do with you. Next important point, which is when something really interesting happened. When I look at very positive videos, somebody was living their best life and they were making a collection of them doing silly things in the streets and having fun. And there is somebody who said, oh my God, this is so bad, attention seeking, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, everybody else was so positive, so excited. Everybody was saying, oh my God, I wish I could be this free and live my life the way you do. Somebody decided to be so salty about it and has a lot of negative things to say. And I said, oh my God, I know exactly what's happening. If you're doing anything that you like and by default, it just makes you magnetic, it makes people want to be drawn to you and be intrigued by you, you're just happy. And somebody feels the need to bring that down. Let me tell you what exactly is happening in that scenario. You see, Since when people perceive you, you're either triggering something that they yearn for or something that they fear. That person who's lively and happy is mirroring back to the person in question what could be possible. So let's say I see someone living their best life and I have an issue with it. It's because that person is reflecting back to me what could be possible for me. In other words, they're triggering the version of me, most likely my inner child, a version of my inner child that yearns for this level of freedom, that yearns for this level of expression and feels safe about it. But because that version of my inner child receives so much criticism whenever I manifested in that way, people around me brought me down and made me feel uncomfortable about myself. Soon enough, I internalized those voices. So they don't need to be around anymore to tone it down and keep me in check. So I no longer am that way. But when I see somebody living their best life and being so happy and confident, I have an issue with it, because when the version of my inner child is saying, oh my God, this is possible for us other people, maybe it's my time to shine. And then guess what your inner critic does? Your inner critic comes in and just pushes it down. No, where do you think you're going? Sit down, go back. And it's very negative. It's very painful to relieve that level of criticism and negativity. Therefore, people are in denial and let that inner critic out. They verbalize it, they vocalize it, because I would rather externalize my inner critic than let it fester in my mind and make me uncomfortable. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. So if you're reflecting back to me something that could be possible for me and my inner critic is coming to shut it down, I'm going to vocalize it outward and say, you should not be doing this. You should not dress the way you want. You should not be... Basically, I'll have an issue with your confidence or whatever it is that you're doing that triggers me. Why? Because my inner critic is not going to let me live. My inner critic is not going to let me be confident the way you are. My inner critic is not going to let me be happy, lively the way you are. And because it hurts, I'm going to externalize it and act like I'm talking to you. People are not talking to you a lot of the times. When they're hating, they're talking to themselves. It's their inner critic that they're externalizing because it's too painful for them to have it inside their head. That is the tip. So now that it's established, even if they're going crazy on the comment section or having... It's not about you. I purposefully go in videos that are really positive to look for the negative comment. A lot of the times they are so weird and out of nowhere. They have nothing to do with the video, just for you to analyze the level of nonsense. We're talking about apples, somebody comes to talk about sheep, and I'm there sitting thinking, what does this have to do with the video anyway? And then I have to remind myself, Sophie, it has nothing to do with the video or the creator or the person. It has to do with them and what they're carrying within themselves. All this person is doing is triggering a part of them that is yearning for this. And therefore, they're talking about something completely unrelated, but is very relevant to their reality. Their words should have no weight on you. They're just perceiving your hologram. But whatever it is that they have used to make the image of who you are as a person has more to do with them than it has to do with you. So set yourself free. Let them have fun with your hologram and live your life.